My husband, let's call him Brett, and I have been together since 2015 when I was in the 9th grade and he was in 10th grade. I am now 28 and he is now 29. My high school best friend, let's call her Rachel, and I used to be inseparable. We hung out at each other's houses every day. We took her dress shopping with us every year for school formals, and we even got matching belly button piercings when we got older.
Cute.
Needless to say, we were tight. Brett also had a best friend, let's call him Mark, and they were also inseparable. Just a few months after Brett and I got together, Rachel let me know she was now dating Mark. Rachel and I are in the same grade, and Mark and Brett are in the same grade as well, so our senior year, while Rachel and I were in school, Brett had started college and Mark had joined the military. It was during our senior year that Rachel decided to marry Mark so that when she graduated, they could live on base together. Also important to note that her family that she lived with were all heavy drug users and drunks, so her home life wasn't great. Fast forward 5 years, and Rachel and Mark travel around every few years to a new base, but always would come back once a year to visit. Over the years, we would still talk, but we weren't as close as we were in high school. Me being a people pleaser, I would drop everything and hang out with her any time they were in town. The only sucky part was that she would also invite all her other high school friends over at the same time. And it always felt like she was pitting us against each other for who could get more of her attention, especially with her friends. Let's call them Carrie and Jane. This is important to note later. This particular time, she came back to visit. They had a big party at Mark's dad's house and invited 20 plus people. I did not know this until I showed up. I was told it would just be me, her, and the newborn baby that she had just had not even 2 months earlier. She then told me she wanted everyone to meet her new son and apologized that she didn't tell me. Again, with me being a people pleaser, I brushed it off. As the night goes on, Rachel, Mark, and most of the other guests besides Brett and myself began smoking weed. Now for the interesting part. Is no one watching this newborn?
Lit.
Now for the interesting part. At one point in the night, Rachel hands off her baby to someone else and asks to talk to me in private. I was so excited thinking she wanted one-on-one time with me, which only made the whole exchange worse. She walks with me around to the other side of the house and we sit on some chairs on the back porch. She began asking all about my life and showing what I thought was genuine interest in me, only fueling my excitement. After about 10 minutes of back and forth, I asked her how her and Mark had been lately and with having a newborn around. This is when she tells me they have decided to start an open marriage and that they have a man back home in Nebraska living with them that they fool around with as a throuple. Good for you, girl.
Polyamory.
Now, I was surprised, but Rachel has always been a bit wild, so the idea wasn't totally out of the realm of what I thought was possible. She went on to talk about how they swap spouses on base and have both been enjoying it. Somewhere in this conversation, I found out this wasn't a new thing. They had been doing this for 2 years. I just brushed it off and listened to her talk. I mean, who was I to judge her for trying new things? If that is what keeps them happy, then good for them. It's not like it has anything to do with me. At least that is what I thought until she casually threw in the question about what Brett was like in bed. It caught me off guard, especially because I'm pretty closed off to conversation with anyone about our sex life, because Brett gets uncomfortable with other people knowing details, which I can totally understand. So I just tell her that I wasn't really comfortable sharing that, to which she replies, well, I'm really hoping you'll let me find out myself before we head home next week. Girl, should be seeing some hands. Like,
Bold.
on sight.
Wow.
Actually, I'm pretty sure I would just start cracking up laughing. I'd be like, you go give it your best shot. Good luck.
Please try it.
Please let me be there. Excuse me? I just kind of looked at her and she continued by asking my permission to confront Brett with the offer to sleep with him. She even went on to say I could borrow Mark for a few hours in exchange. In addition, she let me know it wouldn't be weird because they had couple swapped with almost every other person at the party besides us. She talked about how Carrie and Jane were so generous to switch with her and that she felt closer to them than ever. It felt like she was trying to manipulate me into saying yes because by doing so, I would be on the same playing field as Carrie and Jane, again with the pitting us against each other. After a few seconds, I felt like something snapped in me and I said no and just walked back to the front of the house with the rest of the party. I looked around for Brett so we could leave, but he was so deep in what looked like a meaningful conversation with Mark that I didn't want to ruin that for him. He never gets to see him, so I thought I would wait until they looked like they were done to approach. That, of course, didn't stop Rachel from walking right up to them and explaining her and Mark's open relationship and asking him to have sex with her. The nerve of her to ask even after I said no. Out of curiosity, I didn't interrupt. I wanted to see what Brett's answer would be. His face turned red and he immediately said, I am honoured you would ask, but no thank you. And he turned and walked right up to me and asked if we could go, to which we did. I'm imagining like Ben being put in this situation and he's like, I want to go home. I've been turned into a cow. Can I go home? I've been turned into a
Yeah.
sex puppet. Can I go home?